Amadeo now knew where his executives were being held, but no one had seen or spoken to them. With serious concerns about their health and treatment, they turned up the pressure.
She's getting a lot of pressure from folks, throughout the U.S. government, and mentioned that even some members of Congress had called to ask the status of the Americans.
What we wanted to just find out from your contacts, if it's possible to either, one, if we can get them out and get them somewhere to be picked up and taken to a medical facility, or two, if it's possible to get an independent third-party medical person or team into where they're being held.
The one thing I have learned here is that everything, and I mean everything, costs money. No one does anything for free here, and we will quickly deplete what we have in the bank.
We have found, we'll take care of that tomorrow, Bernard. You'll have sufficient resources.
They received such an onslaught of pressure from so many different angles that, in his exact words, arrests happen in the DRC all the time. What was so special about these guys that so much pressure was being put on them to let them go?
The pressure was finally beginning to pay off. On Tuesday, day 5 of their captivity, Robinson and Billings were finally allowed to speak with the U.S. Embassy.
Has anyone visited them from the U.S. Embassy?
The Department of State just called about an hour ago, and they've been in to see Joe and Kevin, that they were in good health, that they didn't seem to have any physical scars or any signs of physical abuse. So it's definitely a relief when you hear from the U.S. government that, yes, we've spoken to your guys.
When that happened, we felt a little bit of relief, that at least the people detaining the fellows over there would know that there's governments and government agencies looking at them.
Which is good news. But they are probably, if they do release us, they might hit us with some trumped up charges of espionage or whatever.
It didn't take long. With the world now looking in, the Congolese government went on the offensive, parading their captives in front of the press and accusing them of plotting to overthrow the government.
Apparently Joe and Kevin were taken to a public press conference.
Donc ils sont toujours à Kim-Mazière? OK. Je vous rappellerai dans une demi-heure.
Okay, d'accord.
Au revoir. They did a press conference with Joe, Kevin, and everybody. I don't know what happened in that press conference, but they were brought to a press conference, then brought back to Kim-Mazière. He says about 100% sure they're back in Kim-Mazière.
Back in Orlando, the Acme team was preparing to launch its own media campaign.
So we are going to secure the families before they get public. So make sure that all relevant parties know that we are not to discuss the names. The situation is by no means out of hand, except somebody's trying to play a media game, and this isn't a game anymore. People's lives are at stake. Again, if there is press, we have a PR firm being retained now in D.C., which includes President Clinton's former press secretary, forwarding down to Orlando. We have Woody Johnson and Mark Middleton here. Do not speak to the press. Do not speak to anybody you do not know. You do not need to have anybody in a public arena. Our people's lives are at stake. And mistaken information getting out into the internet will cause more damage than anything else because it will get misinterpreted.